Good evening, Sierra J304. This is the photo analysis presentation, and I'm going to be covering gender inequality tonight. The reason I took this is because oftentimes people will tell young children and even pre-adults or young adults still in high school or middle school who don't really know what they're going to do with their lives yet. They keep telling them and they reiterate the sky's the limit. And this means that ultimately there are no limits to the amount of success that one can obtain. However, when we look at the racial inequalities and the sexism, we see that women are less open or less available to top end positions that they may be striving for or they're competing against a man for because they just don't have the availability due to their children and their home lives. Even though success is a great general thought that it's limitless, women also face difficulties with furthering their education. It requires more time and sometimes a pretty high amount of money depending on where you go to school and what you're studying. Lower level jobs in today's society barely keep people financially stable, just maybe enough to pay their bills and put food in the house and maybe get gas for until the next pay period. From my personal experience, I bring about 7K a month just with my income alone, and I still see myself struggling sometimes. This next slide, as you can see, is a picture of heavy, steady, or high flow traffic. This is a depiction of the hurdles that women have to jump over just to achieve the success that they're striving for. For one, there's differences in pay between men and women. With the lower wages and the inflation, like I said in the last slide, it makes it very difficult to remain financially stable enough to succeed. They can't afford additional education all the time, or they just simply don't have that time because of their family obligations and their devotion, which will result in a highly limited availability, which is sometimes required for higher end employment positions. Women lack more of an opportunity for growth because they're encouraged to work less or they're encouraged to go part-time. Accommodations can be given for females, like if they're pregnant or other circumstances. And this can halt advancement opportunities, which means less pay, it means less power, and it means that they're a lower class employee and a lot of other employees, their coworkers, will scrutinize them. It happens all the time. Family devotion is the biggest obstacle in a woman's career advancement because for the most part, they're going to choose their family and their kids over a career, essentially. As we move here into the next slide, we will see women presentation. This is the remarks that women get when they wear makeup or even too much makeup. There's names such as superficial, being called a whore, being stuck up, incompetent. They try too hard, they're attention seekers, a gold digger, trophy wife, they're high maintenance, easy, or they're even a tease. Oftentimes, when women wear makeup, even a good amount of makeup, society assumes that she's trying to impress people or she gets accused of seeking attention. Some people look at her and mentally reduce her just to an object simply because of makeup. A woman's competency is also questioned when they wear, in quotes, too much makeup. The current societal internalized misogyny is quite sad and downright brutal. Studies have shown that women who wear too much, generally people think that they're less human with less morality. Or people will say, oh, who'd you sleep with to get here? Or whose dick did you suck? Or there's no way that you made it here by yourself when you're at a higher position. And people just don't think that women are capable of doing it by themselves. Makeup contributes to sexualization. The more attractive a woman is at work associates her with dishonesty compared to her, I guess, less attractive coworkers. I don't really understand that part, but moving on. So this is the opposite side of the makeup name calling or scrutinizations. Get called lazy, vague, boring, can be called a bitch. I have RBF, resting bitch face, a prude, or cheap because they don't look like they're even trying. In reality, a woman's career focuses more on their looks than their quality of work. Women essentially face a double-edged sword. Regardless of her job title, high or not, her appearance is the main focus. A high number of women suffer from low self-esteem issues because of the pressure that is put on us to look good every single day. Personally, besides recently due to being manic for the last couple months, I rarely leave the house without makeup. I at least have to have foundation on before I'll leave the front door. As we move on from makeup discriminations with women and judgments, we move on to a mother's love. And here you will see a picture of me and my two children. This slide is due to mothers being the primary caregiver of the children. Women are predominantly viewed as the homemakers and the caregivers above all. Put into perspective, if your child becomes sick and either the mom or the dad have to leave work to be with their child, 99% of the time it's going to be the mom who goes home. And she's going to miss out on those hours and she's going to miss out on that pay. So at that point, she doesn't have the adequate hours for work. And then because she's the primary caregiver, it also doesn't allow her very much time to pursue a higher education because of everything that she already has to do. Now that we've talked about the hurdles for women and what her predominant title is as a homemaker and a caregiver, we see the picture that I took of little to no traffic. And this is showing the lack of challenges that men face in order to obtain success in their career. Mainly, leadership roles are associated with male dominant qualities. Men are traditionally more available to travel and to be gone for long periods of time. They have more open schedules because of the fact that women are known to predominantly care for the kids. The chances of her leaving home to travel and being away from her children is much less likely than a man. Though studies and articles do specify that this work is still hard on the fathers, it's still a social norm for the men to leave the house for work than the women. Adding on to this, since the women are mainly seen in this role, the clean and organized, and it's a picture of my stove because I'm OCD and I keep it clean. The term of women being homemakers. It's an invented and it's an assigned gender role, which inhibits women from, or it inhibits women in certain cultures or relationships to join society or the career field, because with some relationships or with some cultures and families, they still only see women as homemakers and caregivers, and they don't believe in the woman going out to work and to bring in their own money. A woman's work when she is a homemaker, it goes unnoticed because it's expected. It's expected for the women to keep the house clean and to cook all the meals and to care for all the kids all day, every single day, 24/7. But with men, they get praised for doing their hard work and meeting goals all the time. With the praise that men get, this also leads to patriarchy and oppression within the workplace. Women tend to be left out of important business meetings that she should be a part of so she has this information that she needs. Women really highly, they experience large amounts of sexual advancement, either by their male coworkers or even up to their supervisors and leadership. If a woman becomes pregnant, they face repercussions for that. They get less hours, which means less pay. And then they're held to a very different standard than men are. They're seen as less than, and they don't have the same support that their male counterparts do. So if a woman is competing against a man for a higher level and higher paying position, the man is more likely to obtain and win that position over the woman in almost every single career field. In closing, this is my references page and all my sources. I really appreciate all of you. Thank you for the wonderful session, and I hope to see you guys again in another class. Have a good night. Bye.